Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a really lengthy in-depth video since I know a lot of you guys like them longer. This is my girl Allison. You have seen her multiple times on my videos. We're really good friends. She's the radio host at WRRV in the Hudson Valley. We always do blonde baby lights tightly packed on her. Lucky girl, she's a level 8 naturally. And it's so easy to lighten. It works well for me all the time. And we are on a path of getting her hair a little bit healthier, but we also do use extensions. So we keep a lot of lightener off her hair most of the time and do a lot of partials or halves. But this day we decided new hair, let's do a full transformation, lighten up all that hair underneath. And we actually went 3 months this time instead of our normal 2. I am currently now in the new salon suite at Sola over across town, and I am so happy, guys. It's a new space. I will show content coming up probably in the next video of me moving in, the transformation, some clips I took over the last few weeks. And this is finally the last hair tutorial you will see at the Phoenix Salon Suites, where I've been there for, oh my God, 2 years now, actually almost to the day. And I've loved it there. Nothing negative to say about Phoenix. They've been amazing. It's just I outgrew the space and I like change, and now I can't wait for you guys to see my new place. A little bit more spacious, a little bit more open, and it's beautiful. All right, now back to hair. So we are using today, I believe, the Mitchell SyncroLyft 9 Plus. I use this lightener and I tested multiple lighteners over the last month and a half, as you guys have seen. But you know me, I always have such a deep, passionate love for blonde me, so I went right back. So now I have a fresh stock of blonde me. And you know what? At the end of the day, if somebody has really thick hair and it swells, it is what it is. But it's so amazing. I have found no lighteners that can compare to blonde me. Always such a clean lift. I always know what I'm going to get with it, and it's very gentle on the hair even though it's strong. I actually yesterday did a client. If you follow me on Instagram, you should be. If you're not, you'll see I do behind the scenes of every day that I work, of every client, before, afters, and durings. We took her lighter, and she was looking for a stylist who used blonde solutions. She's seen it online on Instagram going viral, and she came in and I just happened to wanted to order it. So I did, and we tested it on her hair. That lightener is amazing as well. We used 15 volume and got amazing lift, but still I love my blonde me. So you'll see a bunch of blonde me coming up in the next few tutorials because that's what I'm using. And that's my ride or die at the end of the day. And every year or two I do like to try new things, but I always will go back to blonde me. So we are using 20 volume with the SyncroLyft 9 Plus. I love this texture and the consistency of this lightener, 1 to 2, and it's very creamy, almost like Silk Lift by Goldwell or Wella Blondor if you guys have tried that. That's how I can compare the consistency of it. It says 9 levels of lift, but like I said, it's not as strong or has a kick like blonde me. Not many do. So we're going to go up and brick lay in the back of the head. We did remove her extension. She had a machine wefts from about a year ago. She didn't want to wait for the Cora Jay-Z Styles extensions to come in the J-Tide. So we ended up doing the machine wefts, but I don't like using machine wefts, especially on somebody who has very thin hair like her. It can bulk a little bit, maybe even show a little bit more than it would if it was a J-Tide or hand-tied. So we ordered 2 half bags of J-Tide, 24 inches. So those wefts are now garbage. I just showed you that we took out of her hair. This is her natural hair, pretty much real healthy. I mean, average blonde, you know, you're gonna have some dryness, damage, some breakage, but her hair is pretty healthy for the most part. But like I said, she is a lucky level 8, lucky girl, so she doesn't need much lightener to get her lighter, but she is addicted to that bleach, I'll tell you that. So we are going in on bricklaying, and we always add lowlights with Allison. Like I said, my trick and the key to the bright blonde is always adding dimension. Even the littlest bit will make it pop. Today we're using Goldwell Colorance 8GB. My go-to is 7N 7G by Goldwell Colorance. You guys know that. But with her, I wanted to lighten it just a little bit because we didn't want it to be overpowering or overbearing like it was the last time we did it. But we still wanted to have dimension in there and a little bit of pop from the blonde. So we did use Goldwell Colorance 8GB, which is also a low light I love to use on people who are very, very, very light. So I'm going to continue bricklaying. 3 foils in the middle, 2 to 3 on the left, 2 to 3 on the right. If you notice, the middle I always do horizontal, and on the left and right I always do on a slight diagonal, because this placement rolls best with the round of the head.
Outside my window, is everything pale and cold? Can't seem to pick up my phone. It's been ringing all day long. Behind these clouds, I know the sun will be, but today's raining, so be patient with me. I'll be right. Somehow I must be somewhere the sky is blue. I'm too tired to sleep, too tired to do anything else than doing nothing. I'm too tired to rest, too tired, I'm blue. Can't do nothing else than doing nothing. Inside my room, the heat's like a warm embrace. My bed feels like heaven. I lose track of time and space. Behind these clouds, I know the sun will be, but today's raining, so be patient with me. I'll be right. Somehow I must be somewhere the sky is blue. I'm too tired to sleep, too tired to do anything else than doing nothing. I'm too tired to rest, too tired, I'm blue. Can't do nothing else than doing nothing. I'm too tired to sleep, too tired to do anything else than doing nothing. I'm too tired to rest, too tired, I'm blue. Can't do nothing else than doing nothing.
So finishing up with the back section, we're now going to move on to the front two sections. I love this placement. This is a placement where if I want a really bright hairline, I use it. I will also go up horizontal for the first half to 3/4. And when I get to the round of the head, I will start slightly making a slight diagonal, very slight, just so a little bit of that dimension can pop. If I want it to be really solid looking, I would do horizontal straight up. But what I'll do is I'll do horizontal right now. I'll do one slice of a horizontal, maybe two. And then after that, I will start going on a slight diagonal. I will go around the hairline as I work up. This is number one, quicker. Instead of, doing the hairlines in detail and then doing the meat of the sandwich, you could do two birds with one stone, kill two birds with one stone, which I will be doing and you'll see. And I do a slice every time it's a slight diagonal. I go back and forth, bricklaying, horizontal as a baby light besides these first two that are slices, and then the ones that are diagonal around the hairline, they will be just slices all the way up until we get to that money bang box. After about 4 or 5 of them, I will go work my way into small baby lights just so everything works back and blends beautifully. 90% of the time I do go off the client's natural part. If they are a tousler or they can't make their mind up and it changes with the day or their mood, I will always go from the middle because that's the best way to get a perfect, beautiful, even canvas. But I will say this, if the person's part is very, very far over, when there's a little piece on one side, think twice and maybe even convince the client, maybe we should go off the middle because then I can make everything even around the hairline for the money pieces, and then we can go back to your normal part when we blow dry and see, but it always makes it a lot more even. So it's very tricky, but you got to go with your judgment. You're the professional. But a lot of the time, if they do have a very far over part, I will go from the middle and it just makes it look more better, and everything's a little bit more even, because you know when you have, you know, 3/4 of the head is one side of a part and you have all that hair, and it's usually the finer, thinner side that has a little bit of almost receding area. That's always the hardest, and it is so hard, you guys, to make that money piece look even. So just try going with the part down the middle, unless it's like Allison, who is just a little bit off the middle, then I just go with hers. As you guys continue to watch, you can tell I really do real detailed work when it comes to the hairline and the front sections. The back is always where a lot of the hair is, but say you're working with an assistant, for example, and you're starting to get them to start foiling and learning, the best thing for you to do is always do the front 2 sections and let them do the back. And usually, because they're slower, they take longer, they're newer, you do have them do the bottom half, or at least 3/4 up, and then you can even, you know, do the front 2 sections and then do that last top crown area. So the client's, number one, more comfortable, and you're comfortable knowing that everything that client sees visually, it is your work, but it will cut down on time. For example, I like to put a lot of detail in, but I've been doing this long enough now where my speed is really quick and I can whip foils out back to back to back to back with no problem. I always do leave bigger subsections in the back. I mean, bigger to me is an extra 10 pieces of hair, but when you're doing that hairline and that detail around that face, you want to make sure you're packing in those foils very, very small, basically no subsection. If anything, just a couple of pieces if you're doing back-to-back baby lights. But as you see, when I'm doing the diagonal, I'm doing slices, but you can see right through these slices. You can read a newspaper through them, and these are very small, even a little smaller than my average size baby light. But the most important thing I try to tell other stylists who are learning or new, or even seasoned and are just trying to learn a little bit more, always make sure that no matter if you're doing a chunky highlight, a thicker stitch, a baby fine baby light stitch, a dimensional look, a back-to-back baby light look, no matter what it is, you make sure that you always take a small amount of hair in the foil, because if you take thick amounts of hair, it will not process evenly. It will require a higher developer, which is in turn more damage, but not even that, it just does not lift evenly, and it's very nasty. You'll have orange and red and yellow on different pieces. It's never an even lift. It takes more time to do smaller sections, but even if somebody wants more dimension, I will leave more hair out in the subsection, but still take thinner amounts of slices of hair or stitches in the actual foil, because it saturates easier. It actually is quicker, believe it or not, by doing small amounts of hair in each foil, because the more amount of hair you take, that's how long extra it's going to take to saturate it. So the smaller amounts you see when I'm around the hairline, I literally sometimes will just tap it with my brush and product once or twice, a couple of times to make sure it's not going over the foil. I'll even feather a little bit vertically, but I just tap it once or twice around the hairline because you don't need much. And another thing I find with other hairdressers, it's never ever a perfect amount of saturation. People are always either one or two ways. It's either they're very, 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 very bad with saturation, and they'll use a whole brush filled and they'll just throw it in the foil. They'll make sure it's so saturated, and then what's going to happen is it has a higher chance of swelling. It's also going to bleed easier, and it will expand in that foil, so it's going to be a mess. Then the other people, the other half that, you know, don't do too much saturation, are the ones who don't do enough, and then it looks dry and it's not going to get enough lift. It's not going to stay moisturized. You're not going to get evenness. Nothing like that. So the best way is to find a very even middle, a medium. That's what I do. It's enough product, but it's enough without being too much. I hope that makes sense, you guys. If you have any more questions, let them down below in the comment section.
Outside my window, is everything pale and cold? Can't seem to pick up my phone. It's been ringing all day long. Behind these clouds, I know the sun will be, but today's raining, so be patient with me. I'll be right. Somehow I must be somewhere the sky is blue. I'm too tired to sleep, too tired to do anything else than doing nothing. I'm too tired to rest, too tired, I'm blue, can't do nothing else.
do the Olaplex clarifying shampoo. And I'm going to mix some of it in here. And we're going to do a bleach wash on Allison's ends because we never overlap them. And sometimes they're a little dingy from like mineral buildup or just anything over time. It's been a long time. I think the first time I don't even think the first time I overlapped. And it's funny because I just seen popped up on Facebook a year ago today we did your hair. So
Are you serious?
I took a screenshot of it, yeah.
That's
I don't know if that
insane.
was the first time, but it was definitely exactly a year ago.
Wow.
So we're gonna do a little bit of the Schwarzkopf Igura XXL since I've been trying different lighteners. You guys know that. We'll mix all of it together and then I'm just gonna put it on our ends for like 3 minutes. And then we'll shampoo. And if anybody didn't know, this is how you make a bleach wash. Shampoo, developer, and bleach. And then it's just like watery. We don't need it to be. It's just gonna go on and we're gonna run it in like a shampoo. You guys know I like to do a root tap and the person's natural. And Allison's an 8. We actually didn't do our hair for like 3.5 months. And I think it's because last time I did do the 8 and ANA. I used to do 9s, but anytime I don't use anything that's the natural of the person, I feel like it always ends up getting more warmer when it fades. And when you're in that color of an 8 anyway, it has orange underneath, so it looks warmer as it is naturally anyway. So we're gonna do 10 grams of 8N, and we're just, because she left it perfectly, gonna add 2 grams of 8NA. And then for her toner, I'm gonna do 10V, 10P.
Outside my window, is everything pale and cold? Can't seem to pick up my phone. It's been ringing all day long. Behind these clouds, I know the sun will be, but today's raining, so be patient with me. I'll be right. Somehow I must be somewhere the sky is blue. I'm too tired to sleep, too tired to do anything else than doing nothing. I'm too tired to rest, too tired, I'm blue. Can't do nothing else than doing nothing. Inside my room, the heat's like a warm embrace. My bed feels like heaven. I lose track of time and space. Behind these clouds, I know the sun will be, but today's raining, so be patient with me. I'll be right. Somehow I must be somewhere the sky is blue. I'm too tired to sleep, too tired to do anything else than doing nothing. I'm too tired to rest, too tired, I'm blue. Can't do nothing else than doing nothing. I'm too tired to sleep, too tired to do anything else than doing nothing. I'm too tired to rest, too tired, I'm blue. Can't do nothing else than doing nothing.
Alright, so now what I did was I root tapped her all over the entire head except for the hairline, which I always leave out to the last minute. The only time I won't leave the hairline out to the last minute is if a client wants it to be natural and doesn't want anything popping around the face like that and wants it to be very subtle. So we did a lot of slicing. Now you can see what all that hairline detailed foiling work looks like raw. Beautiful. Sometimes I'll even leave Allison or people who are really, really naturally light out completely in the hairline. We've done that before for her. But today I did want to tap it a little bit just because we did some low lights.
Outside my window, is everything pale and cold? Can't seem to pick up my phone. It's been ringing all day long behind these clouds.
Alright, when doing a root tap, I do leave it on for just 5 minutes, and then I tap the hairline. Once I tap that hairline, I only let it on for 60 to 90 seconds, lay them back, comb everything through. Then I will rinse the tap and the treatment that I always have on the mids and ends off of the hair. And then I will go in with the toner and give a nice head massage while they're laying back. It's really cool. I can't wait for you guys to see a new salon. I can actually sit behind the sink and sit down, so it helps a lot. And if they're doing just a partial, I can tap them right in the bowl. I'm going to do an updated version of the tap, shadow, and smudge video that I did a long time ago. If you're new to my channel and you weren't here back 2 years ago when I did it, go check it out and see how I used to do my root taps, shadows, and smudges. But I have changed it in the last year. You know, it changed with time and evolution. So I think it's better the way I do it now, and I will break down in full depth the root tap, shadow, and smudge, the newer version. If you want to see it, let me know down below in the comments section.
Behind these clouds, I know the sun will be, but today's raining, so be patient with me. I'll be right, somehow I must be somewhere the sky is blue. I'm too tired to sleep, too tired to do anything else than doing nothing. I'm too tired to rest, too tired, I'm blue. Can't do nothing else than doing nothing.
Alright, there you guys have it. That's the final result right here. Look how beautiful her hair came out. 24 inches of white blonde with nice level 8 dimension and a nice level 8 tap. We hope you guys loved watching this tutorial as much as we loved making it for you guys. I will see you in the next one. This is the final video at my old salon suite. Ones from now on will be at the new one. I love you guys so much. I'll see you in the next one. As always, so long for now, guys. Mwah.